Welcome to St James's Park, where England play their first ever game here in Newcastle. The Lionesses will be roared on by 47,000 fans, and the European champions will be hoping that this crowd will get right behind them as they take on group leaders France in a key Euro 2025 qualifier.
The Lionesses open their account for Euro 2025 and they are facing quite the challenge in Sweden. The first goal on the road to the Euros, and it's Alessio Russo. Qualifier strikes to level things up. A historic night for these two nations as they meet for the first time in nearly 4 decades. Bronze at the back post, and James is there, and James scores for England. And the referee is pointed to the spot, Alex Greenwood. And England are 2-0 up.
England opened their campaign with a draw against Sweden, so Sarina Wiegman will want to avoid dropping many more points as the European champions look to qualify for next year's tournament in Switzerland. The Lionesses have been boosted by the return of Millie Bright from a knee injury. She partners captain Leah Williamson at the heart of England's defence. Beth Mead comes in for the injured Lauren James as they prepare for what will be a tough test against France, who are the early pace setters after winning both of their opening games. The top 2 in the group qualify automatically. There is an opportunity, though, to get through via the playoffs. But England will want to avoid that scenario as they get ready for back-to-back matches against Le Bleu. They travel to St Etienne on Tuesday, but tonight it's all about St James's Park, and kick-off is coming up in 45 minutes. And we are delighted to be joined on Tyneside by former Lionesses Enya Luko and Siobhan Chainman. I mean, this is quite the atmosphere, and they've even brought blue skies for us here in Newcastle for the very first game that England play. Now, Enya, I'll come to you first, because how significant is this game going to be, especially against France, and they have to go there in St Etienne on Tuesday as well?
Yeah, look, I think every game in this group is significant. I think when this group came out, this England-France tie was the one that, you said, right, that's a tough tie. Every single game in this group, we've had our fair share. Games against France is always a tough game. I think the reality is it's not a must-win game, but I want England to go in with a must-win mentality. I love the way they went in against Republic of Ireland, really set out their stall. It felt like a must-win game, and England played that way with precision, possession, clinical. I think they should go in with the same mentality, treat it like a must-win game. The reality is you don't want to be in a playoff situation, so can England go for it tonight in what will be obviously a tough game?
Siobhan, how tough are tonight's opponents? Because they're world number 3 up against England, who are the second best team in the world, but they also reached the Nations League final and they beat Sweden, the World Cup semi-finalists as well. That was only last month.
They did. France are brilliant. They're one of the teams that I think have got fantastic players, but have always kind of failed to make that final step to win that final and get that trophy. They'll want to be doing it at the Olympics, they'll want to be doing it at the European Championships, and they've got talented players. They only beat Sweden 1-0, but they dominated against that Swedish side, which England struggled against. So it's going to be a really tough game. They've got fast attacking players, they're strong defensively. It's going to shape up as being a fantastic match here today.
Yeah, I can't wait. Right, let's take a look, shall we, at the team England boss Sarina Wiegman has chosen. It's 4 changes from the Republic of Ireland game. Marriott is back to win her 50th cap tonight. Millie Bright makes her first appearance for this qualifying campaign. That was after an injury. Georgia Stanway replaces Jess Park, and Beth Mead comes in for the injured Lauren James. It's really interesting and good to see Millie Bright. She's back for the first time since October, and partnering Leah Williamson in centre-back. How much of a difference is that going to make?
Huge. Millie Bright is one of the stalwarts of this team, one of the foundations of this successful team. Back with Leah Williamson, that is a European Championship winning defence there. So I'm glad to see that partnership in particular back. And I think both players, Millie and Leah, are both stronger for their injuries, stronger mentally, more experienced. They'll come in. This is a brilliant environment for Millie. She loves playing up against these tough teams. It's going to be a tough game for her tonight against Katoto, goal scorer for France. But England are a better team with Millie Bright in it.
Alex Greenwood doesn't start tonight, but Jess Carter does. Big call, but right decision for you, Siobhan?
It's a huge call, but for me, Diani for France is really, really dangerous, playing up on that right-hand side. And for me, at left-back, Jess Carter is more of a strong defensive player. Although Alex Greenwood's played at centre-back, so you could say she's more defensive, at left-back, Alex Greenwood wants to be bombing up and down. She wants to be delivering crosses. That's her strength. So for me, Jess Carter at left-back is there for her defensive responsibilities today. And she'll have her work cut out, I'm sure.
Diani is coming off the back of an amazing performance last week in the Champions League final. She didn't win the game, but she was unfortunate not to be on the winning team. She is really, really strong, really quick, skillful. So I think it's a smart choice to bring in Carter today. Brilliant 1v1 against a really strong Diani.
Let's take a look at how France line up. Then they make 3 changes from their win against Sweden. Katoto comes back in up front. They are, though, without PSG captain Rascaoro in the midfield. And it's also interesting to see today that head coach Hervé Renard is suspended after being sent off against Sweden. So he'll actually be watching from the stands. Now, 4 of the 5 of the French players that actually played in that Champions League final for Lyon are playing in this game tonight. Their captain, Wendy Renard, keep your eyes out for her because she's probably the most recognisable name, 8-time Champions League winner and just the 157 French caps. I mean, you played against her.
I have.
How tough is she to come up against?
Very tough, Katie. I mean, I don't have very good memories against Wendy Renard. I can't say I got the better of her ever. She's one of the toughest defenders you can play against as a forward. Alessia Russo's got to be really smart today. Wendy Renard's got everything. You know, she's got the pace. For someone so tall, she's actually surprisingly really quick, got a great stride. And then, of course, the other end of the pitch, set pieces, she's so strong. We've seen so many times she gets really important goals for France from set pieces. So Alessia Russo's got to be on her best game tonight.
Yeah, they've got plenty of extremely good players, but so do England, so it's going to be a fascinating contest. Let's talk about the game, especially for all these fans here tonight, 47,000 of them. Just explain how special this is for Newcastle, especially after Newcastle women got promoted from the second tier recently as well.
It's brilliant to see more and more teams coming into it, more clubs investing in their women's side, and Newcastle are one of those teams that's doing that right now. They'll be entering into the Championship. They've obviously won their league, got promoted. They're showing that they're investing, they're showing that they care in the women's game. And look, we can see how big the game is supported up here in Newcastle, because the crowd here is phenomenal already.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely fantastic, and they've certainly come out in their thousands. Right, so let's talk about another very special England player. Lucy Bronze made history last Saturday by becoming the first English player to win the Champions League 5 times after her current club Barcelona beat her former side Lyon in the final. Well, tonight, it's back to England duty as she earns her 122nd cap for the Lionesses, and she's been speaking to our reporter, Tom Gale.
Lucy, they're all big games, but for you in particular, arriving as a 5 times Champions League winner, how much of a spring in your step have you got?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I think me and Kira are both a bit tired on Monday, but we're fully recovered now. And yeah, obviously we're facing a lot of the players that we faced on Saturday when it was Barca-Lyon, is now England-France.
You've lived in France, played your club football in France. You'll know it's a nation that expects a lot from their football team. What are you expecting from Hervé Renard's side this evening?
Yeah, I mean, they're a team full of talented players. That's always been this French team. I think over the years they've changed a little bit. They've got a lot of direct players, hard to break down at times, but they've got a big focus this summer. I think they've got a lot of expectation on their shoulders, not only to qualify for the Euros, but later on hosting the Olympics this summer as well.
And finally, a proud member of the North East community, the first time the Lionesses have ever played in Newcastle. Big crowd expected. How good is that for you, who's not grown up quite in Newcastle, but from this region, to have such a spectacular show, hopefully, in store for the fans coming here tonight?
Yeah, it's amazing. I think the girls from the North East are so excited when we come up here because we know how much it means to the fans and the families to get women's football in the North East, to be at St James's Park at such a historic stadium. And yeah, for me especially, I think I've got half the crowd of family and friends tickets. So it's going to be really nice to be able to play in front of so many of my loved ones and play in such a stadium that they all love as well.
All the best. Thanks for talking to us.
Well, good to hear we got all of the Bronze family in attendance tonight. What a special night it's going to be for her. Let's also talk about her Barcelona teammate, Kira Walsh, who also played a key part in their Champions League triumph last weekend. When we return, we'll hear from the England midfielder on how her game has gone to another level since joining the Catalan club. Kira Walsh became a two-time Champions League winner after Barcelona beat Lyon in the final to complete a historic quadruple. The England midfielder has now switched her focus to international duty as she looks to defend another European title after winning the Euros with the Lionesses 2 years ago, as she told Becky Ives.
Could you sum up what the last week has been like?
Yeah, I think crazy, fair to say. To be against Lyon, and there's obviously a bit of history between the two clubs, it made it a little bit more special for us, but to do it back-to-back and to win the quadruple, I think for the first time in the club's history, was massive. I never thought that would happen, so yeah, it's kind of a pinch-me moment, and I think just the way the girls play and how they are as people is massive for me as well, and yeah, I've just loved being a part of this team for the last 2 years.
How do you think your game has developed since moving out to Spain?
I think defensively I've got a lot better. I think people think going to Spain it's all about technique and tactical, and I think obviously that has also improved, but for me it's the competitive side, so that side of the game I've really tried to improve on, and especially from my first year to now I think that's massively changed, and obviously off the pitch it's a massive life experience, so I think I've learned a lot with that as well. At the start of my career, if he was going to tell me that I'd win a Euros, I'd get to a World Cup final, win 2 Champions League, I'm not sure I'd believe you, to be honest. I was just a girl from Rochdale who loved playing football. I would never have thought those things would happen, but obviously my life has changed in that aspect, but for me it's always just about on the pitch. I love playing football, and that's what I get to do every day.
I'm going to quote Georgia Stanway here.
Oh God, she said about me now.
No, she said, if there's a problem on the pitch, Kira Walsh is the one who can figure it out.
No pressure. Being in the middle of the pitch, especially when you're playing at a big stadium and there's a lot of noise, you kind of have to take a little bit more responsibility because you're the in-between for the defence and the strikers. So, yeah, I wouldn't say I'm the one that solely figures it out, but, I try and play my part, I would say.
You've had a convincing win against Ireland. What do you take from that ahead of this camp and these games against France?
The difference in the Ireland to Sweden game was, I think, the confidence we had when we were moving the ball. I think there was a lot more fluidity. People were changing positions. We played a lot faster. We played to our tempo. I think against Sweden, we kind of let them dictate how fast we played the game. And when we went to Ireland, we really just took that on ourselves and really tried to speed the game up. You know, France are a different opposition again. They've got some world-class players, and obviously, you know, defensively it's going to be a different game with their forwards because they're all so fast. So I think we need to be aware of that. But just taking our confidence, knowing that we can create chances against the best teams in the world and really just focus on what we can do in our tempo and, not be afraid to try new things. And I think that's what Serena spoke about in training this week, is just, trying to create chances and take those chances.
Do you think that these 2 games are crucial? The 2 games against France, one home, one away?
I think they're obviously top of the group as well, so it puts a bit of emphasis on getting a result against them. I don't think it's the be-all and end-all. I think, you know, Sweden and Ireland are still going to be really tough games, but it definitely takes the pressure off if we get 2 good results now, and, we can take a lot of confidence into the next window.
What more would you like to achieve with this England team?
Retaining the Euro trophy is obviously the biggest one. The feeling when we won that was so special, and I think to do it again with this group would be massive, and just winning 1 trophy with England probably isn't enough for us girls now. I think we've had a taste of it and it was the best feeling in the world, so we're hoping that we can do that again. See you later.
What a lovely interview there with Becky Ives. Kira Walsh always speaks so well. I mean, just explain how beneficial it is getting that experience overseas. You did it with Juventus, and we've just seen Kira Walsh go from strength to strength.
Yeah, I think when you go abroad, it's about being able to add another dimension to your game and adapt to other main characters in the team. So obviously I went to Juventus. Kira Walsh has gone to a huge team, Barcelona, who have other main characters in their team, like Aitana Bonmati, who is obviously the Ballon d'Or winner. And what I've seen from Kira Walsh is the ability to, when she recognises tactically when opposition are trying to mark her out the game, she's finding new positions. You see here, She's higher up in the pitch now, finding the way to control the game. Again, she's just, her spatial intelligence is unbelievable for Kira Walsh. Just watch it, under pressure, she still finds a way of threading it through and eliminating 3 Swedish players. She's so smart, but this, I think, is as a result of her playing with other strong players in midfield at Barcelona. So you're seeing her popping up in different situations in midfield. I love this clip here. Look, just one-touch play. Again, Kira Walsh sets those tempos in midfield. There's one-touch passing, that precision that you see from England at their best. Here, she talked about in an interview defensively, how she's improved defensively from going to Barcelona. She starts that clip winning the ball back, and then England are on their way. She's just a brilliant player. She says in that interview she's just a girl from Rochdale, but she is the world's best player in her position. I think she's absolutely brilliant.
Siobhan, what have you seen from her game? What's been the real improvement?
I think for me it's the variety, that she has the confidence in herself to deliver now. It's not 1 and 2 touch all the time. It's not breaking up starting play. She can hold on to it if she wants to. She'll drive forward, like Henny said. She's getting higher up the pitch. She's got more confidence in herself to do more with it, and that comes from playing with the best players in the world. And as Henny said, she is one of those best players in the world. So having the confidence to do that week in, week out has brought her game on no end. And she's an unbelievable player and dictates this tempo for this England side.
Let's talk about the French threats, because there are plenty of them. One player in particular that I want to talk about is the Lyon forward Diani. What does she bring, and how is she going to hurt England tonight?
Well, this is why Jess Carter is playing in that left-back position. She's a strong defensive 1v1 player. Diani is fast. She is very fast. And she will run at players. She's got the confidence to drive. She's got the skill to get past players. She can deliver balls into the box, and she can also finish. She combines really well with that front three. They have movement, they have rotation. And her up alongside Katoto could be frightening for France today with the pace that they've got.
Yeah, Katoto, you've mentioned it, 28 goals in 37 appearances for France, and she was out for a year with an ACL. You know, she's come back, hit the ground running. She's a sort of traditional forward, if you like, you know, that sort of target forward, but can also score a lot of goals. Just a top forward for France. Big part of France's success, obviously Diani as well, that relationship between Katoto and Diani. I think Millie Bright and Leah Williamson are going to really have to keep their eye on a different type of threat tonight for Katoto in the air as well. A lot of threats on the front line for France.
How do they stop Katoto, though? Because bearing in mind, Leah Williamson and Millie Bright haven't played together for ages, so how do they stop a player of her calibre?
I think Millie Bright is very good with forwards like Katoto. When Katoto's receiving the ball, trying to get aggressive up the back of her, try and step in before she gets the ball. Millie Bright, I know from playing with her at Chelsea, she's very, very good at that. And when she does that, it really frustrates forwards. It sets them off their tempo. So I want to see that, if possible, for Millie Bright today, because Katoto likes to do that. She likes to hold the ball up and bring others into play and then spin off.
Forwards are confidence players as well. You know that. If you're thriving, if you're getting good touches, you're driving through 1v1, you're confident, you're driving forwards and you're enjoying yourself. Millie Bright does that, gets up the back of her, doesn't let her get that confidence, then she'll start dominating that 1v1 duel.
Well, I can't wait. The atmosphere is certainly building here. And I tell you what, St James's Park is the place to be for the next few days. If you're an England fan, on Monday, the men's side take on Bosnia and Herzegovina in a friendly here ahead of this summer's Euros. But tonight, the focus is firmly on the Lionesses as they look to move a step closer to next summer's Euros in Switzerland. We'll hear from Serena Wiegmann when we return. England have made their way from their St George's Park training base right here at St James's Park for tonight's all-important Euro 2025 qualifier against France. Serena Wiegmann will be well aware of the French threat after they beat Sweden last month. Let's hear from the England manager now, shall we? Ahead of her 50th game in charge. She's been speaking to Tom Gale.
Serena, a couple of very important back-to-back games now in your hopes for automatic European qualification. What does your side need to do tonight against France to get 3 points?
Yeah, well, yeah, of course we want to get 3 points. I think we have to play our best game because they have a very good side. That's really short the answer that we have to do. And we've trained really well. We're really ready, we think. So let's go out there.
You mentioned in your press conference that you welcome the tough decisions, having such a talented squad. So a few selections to just get your thoughts on it. Mary Earps returns for her 50th cap in goal. Hannah Hamptons drops to the bench. Have you got a clear view on who your number one goalkeeper is, or is the plan to give both opportunities before next summer's European Championships?
No, I think, as we have seen, we have very good goalkeepers who can play in very competitive games under the highest pressure. But Mary is our first goalkeeper.
Millie Bright, the first time she's been available since October. I just wanted to talk about that defensive dynamic because Alec Greenwood drops out. I think many thought that she may have moved to left back, but Jess Carter maintains her place. So just talk us through your thoughts on deciding that back line.
Yeah, well, it's good to have all those players available, of course, because then we have to make hard decisions. I think Alex feels most comfortable in the center. I also think we have to play France. France up front, really powerful, lots of pace. So that's the reason why I put these 4 defenders in.
And finally, Lauren James is always going to be a big miss with her goals and her assists, but you have a very experienced player, Beth Mead, who's gradually getting back to her best form, obviously post-ACL injury.
Yeah, I absolutely think she's in a great form. I think competition's going on up front very much too. That's why Bet's playing, and we have even other options too. But Bet's in good form. She's always very smart, so I think we'll be in a good place.
All the best for tonight. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to hear from the England manager there. Just to bring you some breaking news about one of the other games that's going on at the moment. Scotland against Israel, which was meant to be played behind closed doors, has actually been delayed by 30 minutes. This is due to a protester actually chaining himself to a goal post. He breached through security, and it means the game had to be delayed. However, it has just kicked off, so we'll keep you updated on that. Right, let's just return to what Sarina Wiegman was talking there, because she's made a couple of changes tonight. Millie Bright coming back into the side. Millie Bright actually saying that the new faces have actually taken England to another level, but Sarina once again going with the tried and tested and going with the experience tonight.
Yeah, I think. Look, this is a successful team. I think Sarina Wiegman, in many ways, sometimes she can't win. You know, if she sticks with a successful team that is there to get a result, you know, in a game we've talked about is very testing, or she changes it, you know, she can't win sometimes. I think it's an important change she's made with Carter. We talked about the strength of Diani on that right-hand side for France. Mead coming in, you know, she's got goals. Lauren James is obviously injured. Mead has got goals. She, you know, it's almost like a like for like. You know, Lauren James scored in the last game. Beth Mead can equally be dangerous. So I'm always comfortable with whatever team Sarina Wiegman picks.
Siobhan, let's talk about the French manager. Hervé Renard is actually suspended, so he's going to be watching the game from the stands. How much of a difference does it make when you look to the technical area and you don't have the main person there?
Do you know what? I think it changes. There's a real split on this. I think some players will thrive on it because some players don't like that noise. They want to focus on their game. They want to just get on with it. Some players will look to him for that information, that advice. So it'll be really interesting to see if they do have breaks in play, how those French players react to it. Do they still come to the side? Do they come together? Do they look to their players for leadership? Who's going to step up on that on the pitch for the French side to say, I'm going to take control of this situation, and if things are running away from us, I'm going to kind of take that place of the manager.
Yeah, he's a character, isn't he? We know that. We know that from the World Cup when he was managing Qatar. His rousing speech at half-time, Saudi Arabia was managing in Qatar World Cup. The rousing speech he gave, saying, you know, so what if it's Messi? Come on. So I think he would have brought that winning mentality to France, because at the end of the day, this French team, they've got a lot of talent, but still have not won a major title. So they need that winning mentality going forward. I think he's brought that. He is going to be a miss on the touchline, but we'll see who steps up in terms of leadership on the French team.
Let's return to England and about a player that you know so well, and also an excuse to show this goal again. Ella Toone, that wonder goal she scored in the FA Cup final. She gets the start tonight. She's in such fine form, so maybe no surprises that Sarina Wiegman has chosen her.
Yeah, no surprise at all. It's a phenomenal goal coming at the perfect time. And Ella Toone scores big goals in big moments, whether it's for Manchester United, whether it's for England. You know that she will deliver, and she has delivered for Sarina Wiegman. And that's why she's given her trust. She's given her a starting opportunity, and she said, go out there and show me what you can do. She's been confident this season. She won Player of the Season. She won Players Player of the Season, joint with Maya Letizia for Manchester United. So she's on form, she's enjoying her football, and she scores goals.
And let's see if she can do it once again. I know all these fans will absolutely love that. So it's a 50th game in charge for Serena Wiegmann, and it's also a 50th cap for Mary Earps. But will England's #1 mark the occasion with a clean sheet and a valuable 3 points? The teams will be heading onto the pitch here at St James's Park after this break.
There is nothing quite like it. Epsom on Derby Day.
They're sent on their way.
Wings of Eagles, switch to conquer. Wings of Eagles came from the clouds to win the Derby.
And there are fan racing in the Derby.
As they head to the line with the Derby, Anthony Van Dijk won it for Aidan O'Brien. Desert Crown just kept up to his word. Unbeaten to Platinum Jubilee Derby is a procession for Desert Crown. August Rodin is relentless down the outside, and it's another Derby for Aidan O'Brien, his ninth, and Ryan Moore's third.
What a treat for racing fans as the Derby Festival continues tomorrow on ITV1. Be sure to tune in to the opening show for a full race day preview. That's from 9:30 in the morning. The live racing gets underway from 1:30 with the big race, the Epsom Derby, due to go off at 4:30. Right, welcome back to St James's Park ahead of England against France in this key Euro 2025 qualifier. The atmosphere, I've got to say, is absolutely amazing. We've got the pyrotechnics going on, we've got everyone waving their torches. I mean, Annie, this is quite the atmosphere, isn't it? But Siobhan, I'm going to come to you first because a word on your fellow goalkeeper, Mary Earps, who tonight joins you on a half-century of England caps.
So it's a brilliant achievement for her to make her 50th cap today. She's someone that didn't get caps originally, took a while to get those caps. They've all come in this kind of last 4-year period, and it shows players coming through. If you don't get it straight away, keep trying, keep persevering. You can be England's #1. You can be the best goalkeeper in the world, and she's going to go out there and enjoy herself tonight, I'm sure.
And Annie, this is pretty special. This atmosphere is electric.
Do you know what? I love the fact that this is the first time that the Lionesses have played at St James's Park with a brilliant contingent of North East players to look back on for the Lionesses as well. You know, I've got to give a shout out to people like Amanda Staveley at Newcastle, who's the owner, who would have been a big part of putting, the England games on here. So this is brilliant, brilliant stadium, classic English stadium, and I hope it's going to give the fans something they want by England win today.
Well, the floor beneath us is shaking. The atmosphere is incredible, and we are all set for the Lionesses' first ever game at St James's Park. Can this 47,000 strong crowd inspire England to victory against group leaders France? Time to find out in the company of our match commentators Lucy Ward and Seb Hutchinson.
Yes, thank you, Katie. Second in the world, the third at St James's Park. The half-century is up for England under Serena Wiegmann, but this is the first time facing France during her tenure. It's been too long to complete the set of facing the world's best. Quite the attendance, quite the atmosphere in this famous stadium. The North East loves its football. They're about to be treated to quite the contest. The anthems first up.
The national anthems, starting with France.
England, France, St James's Park. All the action after this short break.
Number 2, Mile Lacroix. Number 3.
It's a Euro 2025 qualifier between two of the best in world football. And a look at the two lineups. Millie Bright is back for England and straight back in the starting lineup, re-establishing England's strongest centre-back pairing for the first time in over a year. Lucy Bronze moves ahead of Steph Houghton on the all-time caps list, with England appearance number 122, 50th cap for Mary Earps. And France without Vicky Béchot, suspended after her red card v Sweden, and with PSG captain Grasqueora only on the bench. Otherwise it's 4 from French champions Lyon and 3 from runners-up PSG. Aston Villa's Kenza Dali, the only member of the starting 11 who plays in the WSL.
Who is here for the Lionesses?
On a more sombre note, last week 10-year-old Leah Harrison tragically died while on a school trip. She was a keen footballer from the northeast and dreamed of playing for England. And the England captain Leah Williamson was holding at number 24 as she walked out as a tribute to young Leah, as an honorary member of the squad, the 24th squad member. And in the 10th minute of the game, St James's Park is invited to be united in some applause. Both sets of players take the knee. So plenty of applause in this stadium. The stand continues. Well, away we go, the first of a France doubleheader, and the first time seeing this England under Sarina Wiegman face France. One of the world's best, but one of the world's best who hasn't won a major tournament. Lucy's still a side to be feared.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a really interesting matchup at this stage in qualification. France are formidable opponents. You know, you sort of look at them and the way that they play.
And England could already have a problem with Cascarino picking that ball up. Well, we've been already saying quite a test that England have to face at the back. And a problem here already in the first 30 seconds for Mary Earps, who's going to be looked at here. Not the best start for England.
Yeah, I didn't really see what happened there, how she was involved in. And England gave the ball away, gave a corner away, but it just went down straight away. And the ball came back to her, perhaps it was in there. Straight away you can see just wincing a little bit.
You saw the grimace, and Cascarino had the chance there to take advantage. But for Mary Earps, who was on the bench in Ireland with Hannah Hampton preferred on that particular match, although Sarina Wiegman making it clear who her number 1 is going forward. But will her number 1 be able to continue?
Yeah, looking at her hip flexor, it seems to be manipulating that area. It's not ideal start for many reasons. Earps going down, England giving away a little bit of a sloppy corner.
50th cap as well, contract expires at Manchester United this summer. Was linked to a move to Arsenal last summer. They are the two goalkeeping options. Lara Keating, the young goalkeeper who's done so well at Manchester City, the Golden Glove in the WSL, the season just gone, and Hannah Hampton, champion with Chelsea in her first season.
Yeah, and neither of them, you know, when you're sat on the bench as a goalkeeper, particularly if you think you're maybe third, the last thing you think is that you're going to get any sort of minutes. And Wiegman will certainly prefer her number 1 choice to stay out there, but not at the risk of injuring her.
Well, the crowd with a huge cheer when Mary Earps got to her feet, but not in the clear yet. Of course, it's that position on the pitch. You have to be feeling at your absolute best, no hiding in goal. And you can see the look on Mary Earps' face, that does not bode well as an emotion, really. She's going to try to run it off here, but the pictures say it all.
Oh, she's such a popular figure, Mary Earps, among these England fans. Her exploits at the Euros, what she's done with England. You've just got to be careful, make decisions based on the head, not the heart. And if she's fit enough, she'll stay on, but I think they'll take a risk with her.
We know that football's unforgiving. Will France look to just put this ball into the 6-yard box?
Right on her head.
Absolutely. Set piece is such a weapon for the French as well, with Wendy Renard. Is at the back of the French train at the moment, just outside the 6-yard box. In goes that France corner towards Renard. There's Millie Bright with a clearance, and England should be able to get away, and then it's fired back in, but not on target that time. And Mary Earps will be thankful for that.
Yeah, of course, France will aim for Renard as much as possible. She's probably 2 or 3 inches taller than any other player on the pitch.
Of course, this isn't the only game taking place in this group. Ireland hosting Sweden tonight. They're about half an hour into that game, and Sweden have just taken the lead. Tim Conrad with the goal, the Chelsea winger. Goal for Sweden, who know they really have to win tonight to stay in the mix. The top 2 in this tough group will qualify directly for Euro 2025. The other 2 teams in the group, they'll be waiting on playoffs.
You know, talking before the game, weren't we, Seb, about what formation France would play? They'd played a 3 at the back. We were trying to sort of configure it, but it does look like they're playing a back 4. 3 in the middle, Kalshawa, Toletti and Darley, which was one of our options, but I think I was proved right.
As always.
Yeah.
Earps, the tester for her. Oh, she's limped. It's not looking good for Mary Earps. And Millie Bright here, even shaky, and they're thankful for the whistle, but I don't think Mary Earps is going to be able to continue.
Yeah, I mean, Mary Earps' injury aside, it's been quite a sloppy start for England in terms of, you know, a little bit wobbly in the back 4. We thought, because we got Bright and Williamson back together, that was exactly what England needed for a solid back line, but she's not comfortable at all. I mean, I always look, you know, we're playing these games into June, Seb. There's been a lot of talk about the load on these players who are not used to sort of this sort of load, particularly playing all the way into and then playing again in July. And, you know, perhaps that's a result of perhaps those sort of minutes on top of everything else.
Hannah Hampton would have expected to be sitting on that bench all evening. So the nature of football, goalkeepers don't get injured that often, but the first tweak for Mary Earps was in the first minute.
Yeah, something in her hip or her groin, I think. And just grimace slightly as she just passed that across her body.
Well, what we do know about Mary Earps, she loves playing for England. And a huge disappointment it would be for her personally to have to make way here. But she's getting quite the reception from the home crowd, one of the most popular players of this Lionesses setup.
Yeah, it's been a great atmosphere leading up to kick-off. This part of the country has waited a long time, and it's a hotbed of women's football. It always has been for the last sort of 30 or 40 years. And it's good to see the turnout.
Absolutely, and Hannah Hampton about to come on for cap number 5. And one player's misfortune is always another's fortune.
Yeah, I mean, just prepare for the unexpected. Like I say, goalkeepers really don't expect to come on, I don't think, particularly so early on in the games. It's about Hampton focusing and concentrating, which I'm sure, you know, she's had a good season this season. I'm sure that she'll be ready when she gets her gloves on.
Yes, there were some people questioning her moving to Chelsea actually last summer because the competition for places, they had already had some top goalkeepers at the club, but she's pulled through to start towards the back end of the season. Credit to Hannah Hampton, a fearless goalkeeper. But not ideal for England to have to make a change so early. Now Hemp chasing after this and gets there before Almeida. First chance for England to attack in this match. 8 minutes in. Carter. Almeida is often found more at centre half.
Well, it's the first positive thing we've seen from England, and we know that they have the players, particularly in those wide areas of the pace, to beat the French defenders.
And Carter pushes it towards Russo. Almeida away. Walsh. Carter. To get that ball back. But Diani, who's just so lively and getting back there to had a terrific performance in the Champions League final, but was on the losing side to Barcelona, which England have 2 representatives tonight in Kira Walsh and Lucy Bronze. Hemp and 2. But that's a loose pass. Shawi can bring it forward here. Look to release fleet of foot Cascarino. Toto in the middle, Cascarino. So many lively players in this France team. Basha, terrific crosser of the ball. Just slightly too much on that. Diani will get there first before Hemp. Diani again. France on the front foot. Darling. Almeida. Didn't quite work out for the French. But now 2. Short of options. Again, the pass is loose.
We haven't really seen that free-flowing England for a while. They've stuttered a bit after the World Cup. The form after the World Cup has not been the best. And put together a short run of being unbeaten, but it doesn't seem to click like we know that it can click.
Shawi went diving in there to try and win that ball back. Shawi so often seen at left back for club PSG, but they've got 2 pretty good left backs, the French, in Usher as well. Here, 10 minutes on the clock, and the crowd around this stadium in tribute to 10-year-old Leah Harrison, a schoolgirl who passed away so tragically on a school trip only last week. Played for Darlington FC's youth side and had dreams of playing in the whites of England. And the applause continues. A lovely touch from those in attendance here. Stanway, loose touch. Not the first for England so far in this first 11 minutes.
Yeah, needs someone to put the foot on it. I think Kira Walsh is the obvious, but just connect a few passes.
Just trying to sweep that one in behind. And it's fair to say with France, they can be, without stereotyping, a little flaky when it comes to their performances over the years. So much talent.
Yeah, it is fair to say that they've underperformed the talent that they've had over the years, and they've not won, particularly in the last 10 years. The players around seems to fall apart at either quarter-final or semi-final stage in these major competitions.
Yes, never reached a final in a major tournament. Down in the quarterfinals on penalties to Australia in the last World Cup. But England free kick, and Hemp and Beth Mead. This free kick. Thompson brighter forward, and Mead swings it in towards Bright. And would be delighted to have Millie Bright back for those set pieces. Now Mead has made a very good run. Couldn't quite take it in her stride.
Yeah, it's a good ball, isn't it, from Jess Carter. And an issue with that left back slot in terms of the balance, having a left footer, but she's certainly one of the best defenders that England have got, Jess Carter, and a little unlucky there. Good opportunity this for Beth Mead to get herself back, scoring back in the starting lineup, and she's probably the most natural goal scorer that England have got in this squad.
Two of the other home nations also playing tonight. Scotland, whose match against Israel was delayed. Kickoff was delayed, but they're 40 minutes in. And Scotland are 3-0 up in that qualifier. They're in League B, which means if they are to win their group, they would face a playoff against one of the sides who finish 3rd or 4th in League A. And Wales also playing tonight, who are currently top of the group, but losing at half-time to Ukraine. That Scotland match against Israel delayed due to a protester on the pitch. And tonight, only played 13 minutes, has been pretty eventful. Mary Earps having to go off injured. England not that fluent so far. But France full of respect for this England side. Sides ranked number 2 and 3 in the world.
Kenza Dali just seems to be following Kira Walsh around when England have got it, and we've seen that a lot. Kira Walsh targeted, it's up to her to get herself free, and she's certainly the skills for that, but it's worked to nullify England quite a lot in recent games.
Shawi to Diani, trying to run away from Carter. And now him, it's asking a lot. Russo putting pressure on Lacroix, who thought might play right back tonight because she has done club and country. But I think long term she'll be more of a centre half. Montpellier.
Her Renard, I think it's just over a year in the job, first job in women's football, and he's done really well in terms of introducing new faces.
Russo driving away from Lacroix, waiting for support. It break to Walsh, not quite. Dali. Technically excellent player for France, but dispossessed by England. Mead picks it up. And her shirt tucked. Quick look over her shoulders where the referee was.
Yeah, neither team have really got into any sort of rhythm of being a bit loose in possession. Dali was caught earlier and just getting a little bit frustrated with Beth Mead. Yeah, we're now sort of introducing back players that had fallen out with the previous coach, and a bit of calm.
And they didn't letting that one run through. Romagna, former Arsenal goalkeeper, was the #1 when they won the WSL title in 2019. Chelsea have been on the roll since then. Asher.
There's a nice bit of balance about this French side. I quite like Karshawi in central midfield. He obviously likes that left-right balance in terms of the footer, and Karshawi can play left back, can play wide left. Central midfield's interesting, especially with the likes of Gayoro on the bench, who we know is an incredible player.
Yeah, that was a surprise absentee from the starting 11, the PSG captain. Toon played into trouble. Dali, and Carter slips, and England could have a problem, but with that ball from Dali that time. And as you say, Lucy, both these sides haven't been in top form just yet. But France without their head coach tonight, Renard. He was sent off against Sweden, and so is not allowed to be pitch side. The man who is pitch side is his assistant, Laurent Bonnadet, who was his assistant with Saudi Arabia, the men's side at the last Men's World Cup.
So he does an incredible job of building cohesive teams, getting players together, and it's probably exactly what this French squad needed, to bring the players together, to get that team spirit, to empower these players. That's what he's done.
Dali haven't got Toto on the ball yet. Basher looking for Toto perhaps. Carter cuts that ball out. De Almeida penalised. And maybe there might be an element of France maybe a little regretful about the first 15 minutes because they found themselves in good positions.
Absolutely, and taking advantage of England not particularly looking comfortable. That back four together, playing together the first time in a long time. They look comfortable playing out from the back. I don't think Serena Wiegmann will be particularly happy about the start, but happy that they're not a goal down.
See there, doesn't too happy so far. And then Ellie Bright doesn't look comfortable on the ball so far. Understandable. Time out from this England side. Captain at the last World Cup with Neil Williamson's injury. England have really been affected in that regard in the last year or so. Renner to Basher. She looks for Cascarino, and Lucy Bronze knows how quick Cascarino is, but Bronze covered it well. But Bronze again, and Walsh calmly back to Hampton. Not so calm for England at the back. Crowd grateful for that ball going long.
Yeah, I tend to think France are missing opportunities here to take advantage of those little mistakes. The loose balls in possession from England in pretty dangerous areas.
Lucy Bronze, former Lyon player. So many of these French players lived in France, of course, during their time there.
And she had a terrific game in the Champions League final. My player of the match. In terms of how she defended, how she got forward. Some really important blocks. And she'll need that again tonight.
Yeah, Hampton is good at passing out from the back, but she's not taking any chances. She's recognised what's going on at the moment. Williamson. Emily Bright. Bronze finding it difficult to progress up the pitch. Here's Hampton again. Neil Williamson. Sit to Carter. And Toon, who's appealing for handball. Referee playing advantage. And England take advantage. Bronze, look at Cascarino getting back. And that did enough to put Bronze off. You can see how quick Cascarino was there.
Yeah, that's not too bad a ball either from Bronze. It's probably the wrong choice of who overlapped and who went for the ball here between the two of them. She still did all she could. Lucy Bronze to get the ball in the middle. No real runners there.
It's going to be a very interesting confrontation on that side. Bronze and Cascarino.
France are passing it a lot better than England are at the moment, which is probably why they feel slightly more settled within this game.
Forward to Diani. Diani chase after this. Williamson read it so well, as she so often does. I don't see her conceding fouls that often. Mary Earps glum at the moment, understandably so.
That's not a happy face.
Towards Russo. How good she is at holding that ball up. She's done pretty well that time. She's obviously, evidently, lining herself up against Lacroix rather than Renard.
Yeah, given the choice. Physically imposing. It's difficult to sort of win those 1v1s when the ball gets played up to you, because it will do. Russo's not really had much service yet.
Facing that familiar problem. Besides marking Kira Walsh out of the game. That's what Darley's been tasked to do, but Williamson. Toon trying to turn, might bring to Russo. Toon. Russo, she could move it wide to him. And him playing to aim for in the middle. Oh, England worked it well. Best chance of the match so far. Ella Toon.
I'll tell you what, that was all about Russo in terms of her link-up play, and she forced that run. She forced the run from Hemp down that left-hand side by giving that ball. And then it completely opens up. It's a good movement from Toon, but she just needed to get a better contact on it. Just trying to guide it into that far corner. It's a bit more positive from an England point of view.
I think that just needed to be 40 yards out for Ella Toon. Who comes up with so many big goals for club and country. Lacroix. defender. And every minute of the Nations League semi-final and final. And France lost to Spain, but France will be at the Olympic Games, of course, as hosts. Katoto, first chance for her to stretch her legs, but Bright easing her off the ball. She can go shoulder to shoulder with Katoto.
Yeah, that'll give her confidence. Millie Bright, just exactly what she's good at. You know, there's a difficult opponent in Katoto in terms of upper body strength, but terrific from Millie Bright.
Almeida. The first 23 minutes have gone. France, as I said before, I have great respect for England, but they will fancy their chances based on the flow of the game thus far. Carter. We know how settled the England side was in the maybe first 30-odd matches of Sarina Wiegman's time in charge, but because of injury, because of new players coming onto the scene as well, players retiring as well,
yeah,
been so settled.
Yeah, it's not been a huge overhaul, but I think she's quietly gone about tinkering, bringing new players in. I mean, that's what you've got to do. I mean, the age groups are so successful, you know, in this England side, that she will have that quality coming through all the time. It's about looking at them, bringing them in when the time's right. And when this qualification group is like it is, it's very, very difficult to keep introducing new players. So she'd want to get a settled back four, that's for definite.
Yeah, funnily enough, when you look at the players out there, it's players involved, well, all European champions. Renard. Cascarino linking up with Karshawi. Cascarino, Katoto, I think, was ready to receive that pass. Cascarino not too happy with the striker.
Yeah, Cascarino wanted, she was playing it through for Katoto to run onto, but didn't really choose that. And they've got the pace to do that.
Russo, Renard got there first, but then Bronze trying to help it on to Russo. Renard there again.
France at the moment are not feeling a threat in behind. They're not feeling any sort of threat from any pace from England. Everything's in front of them. The other time that England got in behind, they looked really dangerous down that left-hand side with Hemp.
It does look relatively solid, though, on that side for England. It was one of the key selection points, whether England would start Greenwood or Carter. It's the latter who got the nod. But Hemp, not the first England player to misplace their pass. It's a game in which it's not a must-win game for either of these nations, but it's one where these will know they're on the back foot in this group.
It's amazing how just the quality of the teams within this group just puts pressure on, you know, the likes of France, Sweden and England. I mean, Ireland have done well, you know, in terms of some of the performances that they've put in. It's such a difficult group for them, but you've still got to show that you're near the top of the world rankings as well as having that number.
There's been a suggestion that there's not much jeopardy in this qualification situation, but what must be said is that England they did lose to something like Belgium recently. You just never know in a playoff situation. Wish there would be 2 rounds. Bright pumping it out towards him. They are made of backing off, and that allows him to come forward. Toon. And now Walsh, really close to her again. Bronze. Williamson. Carter. Almeida recognises the pace of Hemp down that side. So a talented defender, though. Carter forward. And towards Russo, returns so well. She has got the beating of Macron.
Yeah, she's certainly got the physicality, Russo, when she gets in that position to turn, hold defenders off. Just didn't connect with it right, but it's about getting her in those positions.
Yeah, who was in Australia last week.
Yeah, see, that's not ideal. Don't get us on that. We've not got enough time.
going on a post-season tour down under. Russo moving the line for England tonight, and she is the nation's main striker now after retired.
Yeah, disappointed to see Rachel Daly retire. I mean, I completely understand. You know, she's a goal scorer, but she didn't really play. But it just doesn't give that much depth. If something, you know, if Russo's not in form or she's injured, it's, you know, where do England look next?
Bronze. How great a servant Rachel Daly was for England.
I think any other national team, she'd probably be the main striker for a lot of years, Rachel Daly.
He's trying to push her way through. So England's first tournament under Serena Wiegmann, major tournament. It was Beth Mead, major goal scorer. That's loose from France. And Hemp. It's in there. Gets Macron. Might be a problem there for the France defender. Now space for Toon. And Toon onto Hemp. Russo's in the middle. Hemp putting it back. Chance for England. Stanway going for it. And there is Mead. A shaky start for England, but it's England who take the lead against France at St James's Park. And it's Beth Mead back in a starting lineup for England after her injury issues, but reminding everyone what a great goal scorer she is.
Tell you what, I'm really chuffed for Beth Mead, because she is a really natural goal scorer. She goes really calm in front of goal, and everything positive that England have done have come from that left-hand side, and Hemp choosing the right ball. Nearly messed it up there, but look how calm she is in front of goal, Beth Mead. And she knows that she's got a split second, and she uses that. Quite a lot of players panic in that position and think that they have to take the shot straight away, but she knew what she was going to do. She had that calm. It was good play again on the left-hand side from Hemp.
We were just talking about the absence of Rachel Daly. What a great goal scorer she is for England, or she was for England, but Beth Mead is a player to count on when it comes to goals for the Lionesses.
Yeah, good time to score as well. I think, you know, they were struggling in this game, England.
Goal 33 for Beth Mead in an England shirt. She has quite the return, it has to be said, for a country. Only her 56th cap, which is incredible to say as well. Carter. Hemp inside. Walsh will give England confidence. Akira Walsh moves it on to Carter. Sliding across Karshawi, lovely challenge.
See, all of a sudden then the passing's crisper, it's quicker, the movement, it just gives confidence. I think since the World Cup they've probably been in a little bit of a rut, England, in terms of, you know, Alex Green was being the best defender because in possession she's very, very good, but I understand why Wiegmann wants to get Brighton and Williamson back together. Then we've got an issue with left back because you want a defender against the pace. Kira Walsh is tightly marked. England haven't worked that out yet, how to sort of, you know, be better with that happening to her, but getting that goal just gives them that bit of confidence.
Gotcha. Dali moving it on. In goes Mead. Enjoyed that challenge. To think in 2023 it was a great year for Beth Mead. 13 goals in 10 matches. That goes back now. Did that go out of play? The flag is up on the far side, so it will be a France corner.
Yeah, got themselves in front, England, but it's just still running a bit through the team in terms of just those loose passes at the back, and it just gives. And France haven't taken advantage. You know, they've got the pace, and they've not got that pace into any sort of space or use these set pieces yet.
England may be in front, but there's still a long way to go in this one. Basher to take the corner. It's a decent one as well. Cross got Hampton to claw that one out.
And I think all eyes were on Katoto there, and obviously got a shout from Lacroix. Terrific goalkeeping from Hampton.
It's the way that Basher took that corner, you felt it was teed up perfectly for a French player to get a head on it. It was Lacroix who got there in the end, and so did Hampton get there in the end. I think back to those qualifiers where England coasted through their group. They've coasted through qualification for 2 decades. In fact, the last side to beat them in a qualification match was France 20 years ago. Over 20 years ago. Free, incidentally, from Spain. To Huerta.
And now they started connecting passes since the goal, England. They're sort of exposing the press. It's not quite right from France. Not set up as they should be, and when they've moved it quickly, they've got in between the lines and behind the defence of France.
Serena Wigman, of course, will be pleased her side are in front, and some individual performances have been very encouraging so far. Alessia Russo for one, just Carter for another. Bethany getting on the score sheet again. Incredible to say. Talk about England's starting lineup nowadays. Obviously, Lauren James has been starting for England recently, but injured for this camp. Forget Chloe Kelly. De Almeida. Ran into trouble. Hit. Stanway. Once again, it was Basher intercepting that one. Has turned to be a bit sloppy.
Yeah, England just come alive when Hemp gets the ball. She's so positive and front foot and clever.
Stanway. Walsh to 2. Carter. Lauren Hemp back on to Carter. Despite the defensive task that she has tonight, just been prepared to get forward. That wasn't kept in play in Williamson now. Karshawi. She can't pick out Diani when there's a chance.
No, they've not used that well with France.
And here's Mead. Bronze. On to Walsh. Williamson stepping forward. Good foil for Kira Walsh during the Euros defence. So on to Carter. Where Lucy Bronze is at the moment. Stanway moving wide. Here is Georgia Stanway. And Bronze. The possession for England, and as I say that, also not able to hold on to it. Only with the layoff. Dali. To her 3rd club in England now, being at Aston Villa. Formed a great partnership actually with Rachel Daly at Villa the season before this one. Cascarino. There's Carter. Phil is relishing that challenge tonight.
Well, she sent Diana to the other side. Carter. Not got any change out of Carter, so Diana's coming to the left-hand side. I mean, the only thing is you would prefer a natural left footer at left back, but New England aren't really blessed with that, other than Greenwood, who has been absolutely brilliant. Serena obviously looking at the pace of France.
Just wonder if Niamh Charles was able to take part in this squad, if she would have maybe been involved tonight. There's another option. De Almeida's header. Toon has had some nice touches so far. Stanway. On to Bronze. And Bronze has that ball forward, and this is where England can be caught out. Diani. Shawi has to use the ball well this time. Has a second chance, lucky break there for France. Cascarino, Toto stretching for it. That was a chance for the forward.
Yeah, I mean, you know, France have got that much pace in the central areas and in wide areas. Have not done enough. And they were lucky there that the ball landed back at their feet. That's a great ball in, and probably should have done better. Katoto, it's a terrific ball because you've gone with her head. It would have caused a problem for Hampton.
Beth Smead's record for England, but Toto, 28 goals in 37 caps before tonight. Set up Renard's winner against Sweden. Last qualifier for the French. Shawi gets it back. Renard. Basha to Diani. Diani, that's not a bad ball. Dali, Karshawi, this is promising for France. And Carter, they have done well letting that run out of play if possible. And I think it did go out at the end. It will be a corner.
I tell you what I quite like Karshawi as an 8, you know, that left foot making runs beyond, doesn't half make a difference, so difficult to, you've got to track back. It caused a problem for Carter.
They're still not comfortable. Renard will be...
He looks comfortable.
He always looks comfortable. France corner. And there's the threat, those four. Dali, good set piece taker. De Almeida! Oh, it's a lovely goal! What a finish that was from the defender. And France equalise in some style. Renard delighted. But De Almeida had a swing of that, and what a swing.
Do you know what, as the ball was coming over then, I'm thinking, oh, it's just too far behind. You know, they were all running in, you know, the group of players around the penalty spot. And then somehow, what a finish that is. I mean, if that comes from a forward, you know, we've been talking about it for days, from a defender. What a terrific finish. She's reaching. De Almeida's got a little touch from Renard. Absolutely no chance, Hampton. A great set piece. It looked like it just made a run beyond, but when she adjusts the body shape, De Almeida, it's a terrific finish.
Absolutely fantastic goal. And the France defender, the PSG defender, playing it right back tonight. Her 4th goal for France, but that is certainly her best goal for France. England shocked by that effort. We knew that France would be a threat from set pieces. Maybe not like that.
Yeah, they've not really shown enough when they had the opportunity, the set pieces early on in the first half. But oh, fair play.
Toon. And Hip. So good at this, but Dali, what a challenge that was. To lock things up, but England have it back again. Walsh onto Toon. The head up looking for Russo. Walsh will look for Mead. And Mead takes it down well and passed it on towards Russo. It's actually a lovely disguised pass from Mead. Everyone expecting her to shoot. We have a game on here. Walsh. Carter. Maybe this is a fair scoreline, you could say that. Bright. This might break for Russo, but Renard is making sure she can't get past her there. Romagnac. Both for these two sides, 4 attempts, 2 shots on target each. 1 2 more of the ball so far. Stanway, more than decent turn. Couldn't release the pass there, made her on the cover.
It's good play, Stanway, but Hemp's the one, isn't it? Down that left-hand side, and she gets the ball. You can tell the crowd react. She's been the source from the goal, the cross in.
Still thinking about that Almeida goal.
We're sort of swayed by who scores the goals, aren't we? You know, the forward player scored that, and it's magnificent. That defender does it, and it's somehow a fluke, but that was absolutely magnificent.
It's certainly the case. There would have been some saying, did the defender mean that? Just because she's a defender. It looked like she certainly meant that.
She certainly did. Great technique.
Shawi forward. It was Diani looking back for Karshawi, who's been relatively influential so far. Looked better at progressing that ball, France, but England have been a threat. Russo, Stanway, too many. That ball played first time, doesn't get it. It's an area where England can certainly hurt France. Runs of two.
Yeah, that sort of run is the one you want to see from two, because the defenders have to make a choice then. It opens up spaces if you don't give her the ball in behind, or she gets in behind if you do.
Gives a little ball forward to Russo, and now Hemp. Hemp onto Toon. Hemp. Cross it goes to Russo, just too much on it. They do commit a lot of bodies forward to their attacks. The France waiting to pounce. A Bronze, and the pressure from Diani. Walsh out to Stanway.
The fourth official.
Stanway will get it back. And the ball across. Goalkeeper couldn't hold. The New England player there to tuck it away. 5 minutes to play, and England, through Carter, had a tuck of the shirt there on Cascarino. And that should be a booking, and it is.
Josh Carter made a split-second decision there, because Cascarino was away. Just pulled the shirt back. Just gives England a chance to get themselves back behind the ball, because that could have been a 2-1 going into half-time. Look at the speed of Cascarino. He didn't fancy the chase. This was a really good ball. This is what England haven't done, those sort of runs beyond from the central midfielders. As soon as it happens, I've seen Toon try one. Stanway there, it's a good ball, well defended.
Added time free kick here for France, who scored their equaliser from a set piece. Dali. Was the set piece specialist for France. She'll play that forward to Toto. Now winning the header as well, and a shot on the edge of the area. A bit of a mess up that time for France. It's been a funny first half, this one.
Yeah, it's been sloppy at times from both teams, particularly England at the start of the first half. France were passing it better, and as soon as England's got the goal and started passing it, it looked like they were going to capitalise, but then terrific set-piece goal.
Since several years now, France have been so effective from set pieces. Renard, Toto, so often the targets. But it was Lekra with a header saved by Hampton, and then De Almeida with that amazing finish that done the most damage so far. Renard back. Thought this one will be a tough one to call, and remains so. Renard, he's getting closer.
There's some steps in this place, it does need to set off now.
I thought with the time that Marriott had gone down in the 2 goals, that's the yellow card we saw a moment or two ago, he may go over the 5 minutes here. Toletti. So we talk about Dali marking Kira Walsh when England have the ball, but that does give an opportunity for the likes of Toon and Stanway to their own one-on-one battles and win them by getting in behind.
Yeah, and just recognise when to do that. And that's what England have to figure out, because teams have figured out how Serena Wiegman plays the game with Keira Walsh, and it'll get tougher and tougher as you get into championships.
We also have an equaliser. Barton from the spot. It's Bronze. Driving forward. Mead. We're late in the half. Beth Mead! What a save! The Arsenal player denied by the ex-Arsenal player.
Yeah, it's good play from Lucy Bronze. Driving forward. Not really had the opportunity to do that in this first half, but this is good from Beth Mead. Now you know exactly what she's going to do as soon as she sort of stops the ball and moves inside, and it's about stopping it. Hero Mannion did so well there, knew what was going to happen, and it's not always easy to make the save and keeping a team in it.
Talk about France being strong from set pieces, so are England. Mead whips it in towards Bryce. Miss Bronze, what a chance on the back post for Russo, and she got it wrong.
She knew she'd have to get some sort of spin on this. Russo as it lands, it's a difficult skill. It's quite high, it jumps quite high, the ball. That's good blocking anyway from the French defenders.
Will that be the last chance of this half? Pauline Romagna, who's currently with Juventus. Going to France's rescue on that occasion. Mead so close to her second of the match. It might be set off again here by Russo, but not quite. Half-time. A lot happened in that first half, but principally Beth Mead gave England the lead on the half-hour mark. But France struck back in spectacular style. Liste Almeida with a wonderful finish to level things up. And who is going to go on to win this match if we have a winner? Who knows? A very entertaining affair so far at St James's Park. Half-time, England won, France won. Second in the world, the third at St James's Park. And pulling it back, and there is Mead! Cindy's taken down, Almeida! Oh, it's a lovely goal!
Right, welcome back to St James's Park. It's been fantastic first half so far, and I'm joined back alongside by two of England's finest, Eni Aluko and Siobhan Chamberlain. Let's get straight into it, shall we, Eni? Ella Toone came so close before Beth Mead put England ahead.
Yes, and it started from England's left-hand side. Everything good in the first half came from England's left-hand side, particularly Leah Williamson punching it into that midfield, eliminated French players. Ella Toone getting into that pocket. You see here, she gets into that pocket. This is a great initial ball from Alessia Russo into Lauren Hemp. And then just watch the pullback from Lauren Hemp, which was a pattern for England. It's just really clever pullback. Ella Toone doesn't quite get the contact, but it's the right idea from Ella Toone. Again, Leah Williamson here, brilliant pass. Look how many French players she eliminates. Again, Ella Toone getting into that pocket of space. And again, you see here, clever ball from Lauren Hemp. Brilliant run from Alessia Russo, which takes Wendy Wenard out. And I love the calm finish here. She gives it the eyes, Beth Mead. We talked about it, whether it's Lauren James, whether it's Beth Mead, it doesn't really matter. She's got goals. Great finish.
And Siobhan, France then equalised, and not a bad finish from PSG defender De Almeida.
Not a bad finish, it was an absolutely outstanding finish. We spoke about the danger that you can get from France from set pieces. You know how dangerous Renard is in the air. This came from a slightly different defender, and it was a world-class finish. It was absolutely brilliant. You see how she takes it. The delivery comes in here, just lofts it over the goalkeeper, has absolutely no chance to make that save. But I think what you notice first is a little push from Renard on Lauren Hemp. It gives De Almeida the opportunity to make that strike. And there's no VAR in play today. If there was, could that be a decision that could be made? Guess we'll never know.
Hang it in the Louvre, that one. You can hang it in the Louvre.
I'll let you tell her that, shall I? And Beth Mead, well, she's on fire tonight. She nearly made it 2, didn't she?
She is, and this is what we were saying before the game. She's obviously come in for Lauren James, but this is the level of performance, I think, with whoever plays up front for England that you need. This is where she holds her position, comes in on the left-hand side, great little curler and great save from Peru Manin. But this is what Beth Mead brings to the team, keeps that width and then can cut in either side and create chances for the team, and obviously gets the goal as well.
So it's a big 45 coming up, but it was sloppy mistakes from the first half. So Siobhan, where will England be wanting to improve?
Look, across the pitch, they've got to improve their standards. France didn't capitalise on the mistakes and the errors that England made. If they do it again in the second half, France will. They've got to be able to keep hold of the ball, 1 and 2 touch in key moments like this. You can't afford to give the ball away to French players in these kind of positions on the pitch. It wasn't capitalised on this time. You do it again in the second half, it will be.
Anything you want to say about sloppy England? They need to improve. We're just seeing this straight pass. You know, France really capitalising on England's mistakes.
Yeah, that's a dangerous pass from Hannah Hampton there, right into the gut of France, and they're onto it. You know, Kachauri in particular is playing in a different position in midfield. They're trying to stop Kira Walsh playing. We've seen that plenty of times from top teams against England. It is sloppy. It has been sloppy at times. England need to clean that up because France are trying to press in midfield.
And also, we can't forget that they actually lost Mary Earps early on, so a big blow for England, but hasn't Hannah Hampton stepped up for England with a big save from her. Mary Earps watching on from the stands. Not a good look for England, but the number 2 stepping up ahead of a big second half for the Lionesses coming next. This year's Soccer Aid for UNICEF match is on ITV1 on the 9th of June, and donating to the appeal is simple. To give 30, 20 or £10, text 30, 20 or 10 to 70818. Text costs your donation plus 1 standard rate message. You must be 16 or over and please ask the bill payer's permission. You can also donate online at the website shown on the screen. 100% of your donation will go to UNICEF, and every donation will be doubled up to £4 million thanks to the Children's Investment Fund Foundation. Right, it's 1-1 at the break here in Newcastle. A fantastic atmosphere. As for elsewhere in the group, the Republic of Ireland are taking on Sweden. Sweden are currently 2-0 up with around 20 minutes to go in that one. And a quick reminder for you to join us for England's return fixture against France on Tuesday as the Lionesses travel Saint Etienne. That's from 7:15 on ITV4. Right, it's time to hand back to our match commentators here at St James's Park. Lucy Ward is joined by Seb Hutchinson.
Well, Beth Mead with that goal for England in the first half. De Almeida with a goal for France in that first half. We didn't think there would be much to separate these two sides. Will there be anything to separate them, though, in this second period? No changes from either side. So France to get us underway in this second half. A lot happened in that first half. Both sides guilty of some sloppy play at times, but both sides showing why they can be so dangerous as well.
Yeah, I think from an England point of view, they need to pass it better. They did at times in that first half, but not enough. And I think France probably need to be better in terms of their press. Maybe move the game on a little bit further up the pitch and try and trap England. But France haven't taken advantage of the space that England leave when they've got possession.
Hampton, though, firing straight to a blue shirt with Basher. And Basher, Katoto looking to peel away. Very important defensive work there from Williamson. Almeida. Scarino. All right, and Carter. He's still prepared to try and pass it out from these sort of situations. And him trying to run it, not the place to do it. Toletti didn't really catch hold of it. The let off for England.
Yeah, they've not taken advantage. When England have been sloppy in possession, France have not taken advantage. Luckily from an England point of view, but it's about just releasing the ball because they were set in a high position there, France, so they could win it back quickly.
Gibraltar's playing that ball forward. And it is a surprise, really. This is the first game to be played at St James's Park because the North East is such a hotbed for women's football in particular. Lucy Bronze, one of those representatives, born in Berwick-upon-Tweed. Rashai, Diani, still on the left. Toto, we'll get to that. Bright was there. Here's Russo. Now Mead. Walsh. Always expects a player to be on her toes. That time it was Karshawi. Gibson did pretty well against Katoto just a moment or so ago. Now Bright. Gibson. So did win the League Cup final last season. Involved in a dramatic final day. WSL title race. De Almeida cut that out, but only as far as Carter. And now Hemp trying to roll the France goal scorer.
Yeah, you just want Hemp beyond. Coming short, she likes to run with it, but getting her in space in behind is where she's so effective.
Williamson to two. She's taking up some good positions. As she so often does. Hannah Hampton getting involved. That had been part of England's way of getting around this problem, is to get Hampton more involved. Look at that pass out to Bronze. Terrific ball from the England goalkeeper. Russo, flag goes up.
I think it was Russo, just gone beyond. Both her and Beth Mead have made the run, but that's good from Hampton. It's really good when you've got a goalkeeper who can just ping the ball there, and then obviously right on the attack. Ooh, it's interesting. And the assistant just thought she'd seen Beth Mead go beyond. I don't think that was right.
Yeah, Almeida trying to play it forward, cut out by Carter. Carter to Toon. Walsh, Hemp. Walsh, and there's Toon. Finding room again. Toon back to Walsh. Not quite though into her path. Instead it's Bronze. And Carter. Millie Bright. Stanway. And Mead wants to get that ball back. Quite link up effectively. Toletti for France. And now Basher. Pinned back a little bit by Beth Mead, but is a fullback who does like to get forward.
I think you just get those combinations right in wide areas. Third player runs and those triangles out wide. That's how you get the players in behind this French back line.
Passes it straight to Karshawi. Toletti. Karshawi. France. Pass it straight to Williamson. And now on to Hemp. Only Russo up with her at the moment. The players arriving. Hemp though plays it in. Almost found Russo. It was a terrific cross. Stanway. Gets the foot out. Toon. Mead. That's blocked by Basher.
Yeah, it's a great ball initially from Leah Williamson, just to set Hemp free down the left-hand side. It's just a whisper away, and I think Renard just did enough, just eased the backside into Russo.
Bronze looking for Mead. Diani back there for France. It's their turn to try and pass that ball out from the back and not look comfortable doing so. Here's Mead. The back heel to Bronze. And defence was there in the end. Mead almost unlocking the door.
Yeah, Diani did really well, just follows Lucy Bronze. Improvisation, clever, little back heel, it just opens up for Lucy Bronze. It just gives Diani enough time to get back and block.
Spoke about Lucy Bronze's North East links, but Beth Mead as well. Born in Whitby, which is technically Yorkshire.
Yeah, just about in the North East. It is compared to where you live, anyway.
So, end with a corner. Bronze is in the back post, but England going towards the near post. Williamson was hoping that ball would drop to her again. Cascarino can't keep it in.
And that's unlucky for France there. I mean, Cascarino was sort of 1v1, but this looked like it was going to end up on Leah Williamson's head. Just taken off it. France struggled to get rid of it, but in the end, I think it was Russo, wasn't it? Just trying to get some sort of head on it, but I think that maybe Williamson had a freer header.
Both these sides have similar strengths. You know, I say they've got pace in forward areas, goal scoring prowess, a strong centre forward, good from set pieces. 1-1.
Yeah, but exactly, and neither want to lose it either. You know, they recognise losing these qualification games, particularly France, they're away from home. And that's why the onus is on England to get the points and the win tonight.
Here's Carter. And on to Hemp, who does back herself against Almeida, but didn't get the ball back from two. Adali. Head up, needed a runner. Didn't get one, but links up well with Cascarino that time. Toletti plays for Real Madrid.
Yeah, they've had the chance to pass forward, France. They've not always taken it. Dali then, players in front who were quite willing to chase in behind, with England's quite high line at that point.
Toto's not really been in the game that much. The same can't be said of Russo, who's such an active centre forward. So many touches of the ball in a match. But
yeah, if she's not involved, she gets herself involved. Russo, it's a difference.
Here's Cascarino turning away from Walsh. Cascarino going on and passing it wide.
Carter and Williamson just being as careful as possible. You know, when you've got a player with Cascarino's pace and trickery, you know, one false move, you could bring her down for a penalty. As soon as she gets you in the area, you've got a problem. She didn't have the finish.
Here's the reaction for the man who can't be pitch side tonight, Renard.
Zut alors, I just said then. That's my best French.
Translation?
Oh dear. I hope. Imagine if I'm swearing in French on national television.
Bronze to take the throw in for England. Toletti. Diani. Got there before Bronze. Stanley having to cover. Shawi. Toletti. Pass to Cascarino. Cascarino gets it back again. Toletti. Let's move it wide. Basha. Time for her to cross it in. There's three waiting for the cross, but too much on it in the end. Basha.
Man, there's no real flow to either team. You've seen fits and starts, the qualities that both teams have got, but just not enough.
The final so went for Wales against Ukraine, 1-1 in the end. So Wales still in the positions in their group to qualify for the playoffs. And again, Williamson was passing it straight into the path of the Toto. You don't want to do that too often. Williamson again, even though sticking to task. Bright. Bronze. It's part of the game, was not permitting defeat in an approach. It's going to reap dividends eventually. Carter. Bright. Toon does pick up some excellent positions for England. She finds space, and Almeida unsure at the moment. The ball goes to the other side, to Bronze. Stanway. Hemp's gone more central for England. Walsh. And Toon swap again. And Bright. Sit nicely out to Stanway. Seemingly trying to work her way through.
Yeah, the midfielders going wide, Stanway and Toon, just to try and create space if they don't receive it in those central areas, just trying to stretch France. But when you've got Mia Williamson and the way that she can distribute the ball from centre back.
Now then, Rousseau. Couldn't quite play into the path of Hemp, but the move is still on for England. Hemp to the back post. Romagna claims safe pair of hands.
Right idea, getting it out to Hemp, but it needed to be into a path just so that she could take a touch. And it's great vision here from Rousseau, but it's just she needed to take it in a stride, and then she could have had a shot on goal. Romagna did well in the end.
Northern Ireland also in action tonight with their toughest match of the group stage. They're away to Portugal, the group leaders. They're 1-0 down in that match. Ireland 3-0 down to Sweden in this group. Kenrid with her second in that game. Rolford got Sweden's second on the hour mark. But even with Sweden winning that game, these two are still the top two in the group. France currently on 7 points, England on 5 points. Top two qualified for the Euros, and these two nations meet again next week. Played in St Etienne. Kraft forward. Cascarino. For Almeida has made a rare break forward. She's been pinned back for most of the match, except when there's a set piece for France, and she did pretty well from that. Here's Hampton. At the moment, these two sides were waiting for the next decisive moment in the game. Potentially decisive. Rousseau. Hemp will get there first. She often does. Carter. Well, the touch was there, and it's not a sort of position we're used to seeing Jess Carter. Maybe the touch explained that.
Yeah, again, terrific link-up play by Rousseau in those central areas. It's just took her eye off it. I think Carter.
Israel have pulled one back against Scotland, but are 4-1 down. Scotland top of their qualification group at the moment. They're also in League B, along with Wales and Northern Ireland, not in the same group but in the same league. With this new format for qualification. This is League A though, and France against England. League A, the only league that gives a direct route to the European Championships. Bright forward, and the foot in. And this, of course, as I just said, League A, and these two nations meet again on ITV4 on Tuesday in St Etienne. Geoffrey Guichard, home of St Etienne's men's side. Here's two. In the first game of the Euros. The men's Euros not that far away now, and the opening match sees Scotland take on the hosts, Germany, Friday the 14th of June it all kicks off. And in the Women's Euros at the moment, England still not assured of their place to defend their title.
I'll be interested to see whether Wiegman makes any changes just to add a little bit of energy to this performance, a bit of a spark. That I think it's just gone into a lull, hasn't it? The crowd are doing a Mexican wave. It's a good indication.
Shall we actually read that really well? Ends up conceding a corner. To take this corner for England. Delicately poised, this one. Thought the set pieces might play their part. They already have for France in particular. Can England score from one themselves? Mead couldn't quite find her target. Here's Bronze. And now Stanway. Carter. Williamson. Is it forward towards Russo? Shawi, even slightly out of shape at the moment. Katoto. Williamson finds herself on the right side of midfield momentarily, trying to reorganise.
Yeah, I mean, that's the time where France need to be more direct. You know, that it's not as if they haven't got the pace. They've got Cascarino on the right, they've got Diani left, and you know, 2 or 3 passes that could be right in England's half, but they just haven't done that.
Cascarino. The sort of football giants in women's football. France are the last of them, really, who haven't won a major title. Following England's victory at the Euros.
Yeah, I mean, England just completely overtook them in the last sort of 10 or 15 years. They were way behind France.
We're now hoping to change that at the Olympic Games, which will be his last tournament in charge. The Olympics, of course, considered a major prize in women's football. Team GB won't be there by virtue of England not getting out of their Nations League group just before Christmas.
Yeah, they're all at the moment aspiring to be like Spain. You know, Spain beat France in the Nation League final, and quite convincingly, really, in terms of the technical level of the players and the group as a whole. So both these two teams are chasing Spain.
Spain's under-17s winning the Euros as well, so got plenty more talent to come. Beating England in that final, incidentally. But at the moment, France slow to build out from the back, and then Karshawi running it out of play. Were playing their part there to put France off. There's Williamson. It's the only way they look to bypass way through that France midfield. Here's Bright. Williamson took the chance on Cascarino. Carter, and she can release Toon here, but chooses not to. Carter. That opened up for her then. Toon. Walsh. Out to Bronze. Bronze inside. Stanway chance to shoot. Quickly closed off. Bronze looking towards Russo. Eramania is there again.
Yeah, I really thought that Stanway, because we know what she's like in terms of her ability to shoot first time, quite a long way out. As soon as it landed, she just couldn't get it right out of the feet properly, so she decided to just recycle, keep it going, and just lost the impetus and the opportunity, England.
France missing the experience of Les Sommer, a great goal scorer up front, who's injured for this camp. England missing Lauren James. So I still have talent on the bench that could change things. Because Sandy Baltimore, who caused England a lot of problems the last time these nations met, which was the last game for England before Serena Wiegman took over. Here's Stanley. And Bronze. Russia gets there first. Just runs out to play.
Good to see Leah Williams as she's grown into this game. Passing it well. She looks a lot more assured in this second half. Good to see it takes such a lot to come back from a serious injury like that, and quite a lot of it's in your head.
She's playing that ball forward. Toto herself had an ACL. Pulled her out of into the Euros. It's Diani. And Diani using Dali with the overlap. And that's an important interception actually from Bronze.
Not enough of that from a French point of view. Overlapping, using the pace in wide areas, positioning Lucy Bronze.
Well, midway through the second half, and they're popping up in a bit of space to try and cause a problem. Renard again knows his side, what they can do from set pieces. There's the goal scorer on the left there, De Almeida, but Toto, Renard, Lacroix. Will France mix it up here or just go for that foursome there? All lining up, waiting to receive this corner from Bashar. England having to work hard to defend that. Dali just it back in again, overload of the back post here for France. Renard goes up. And hook it away, still not clear, and on the turn, the net is fouled by France's fearsome forward, Katoto. She's barely been in the game, but you give her a sniff of a chance and she takes it just like that. And France from behind are now in front.
Yeah, and England really struggled to deal with that. The initial corner that came across, then the cross back in. And it was a good finish from Katoto, but I think England look back at this, and even when the ball's put back in here, you've got to look at your marking. When you've got Wendy Renard, it's about getting rid of it further. And I know that, I think it was Russo, just gets it to the edge of the area, but France are there, get it back in, and it's a good finish from Katoto. So that's two set pieces that have led to a goal. And indirectly for the second one, it's a great little nod back in from Diani. I don't think England would be pleased with the defending of either of those two set pieces.
Well, Katoto hasn't seen much of the ball in this game, but Renard was waiting for her to get that opportunity. She's such a fine goal scorer.
Yeah, she finishes, Seb, and that's it. You know, wherever the ball comes to her, she gets a chance. She hasn't had many. She, not many times, fails to put them away when she gets them in that sort of position.
An interesting substitution there from France, because Rondine Henry, very experienced central midfielder, has come on for Cascarino. Maybe that's to get on the ball and protect this advantage that they now have. And England having to respond. Williamson and Russo, that's a free kick. Can't getting tight, and she will be booked.
She's a problem for the French back line. Russo can never settle when she's around. Input play is good, she holds it up well, and just
today's match attendance here at St James's Park tonight, 42,560.
The attendance tonight announced in the stadium, 42,000. But Lauren Hemp and Mead leaves it for Hemp. That's a decent ball, but France able to clear. Here's Hemp. Stanway. And Bronze. This rejig of the qualification format, these are the sort of situations it was designed to create. Two sides with not much between them. Here's Hemp. Digs out the cross towards Mead. But it's asking a lot.
Yeah, it just needed to be a bit closer. It's difficult to get the power from that. Hemp just keeps going. He's always willing running down that left-hand side. She's put a good few crosses into the box, but it's not going to trouble Pero Mannion. It's interesting that Henry's come on and just to shore up those central areas, an experienced player for France. So when they've not got it, she goes in at the side of Toletti.
Still have the threat in the forward line of Diani and, of course, Katoto. Going into the last European Championships, Katoto was seen as one of the players to watch in that competition, but injury ended her participation. Dreaded ACL. But she's showcased tonight what she can do. France, who were behind in this match, something to build on here. Russo. She got a running on Lacroix, she has, but straight into the arms of a goalkeeper who's not done much wrong tonight.
Yeah, it's good again from Russo. She's just not giving up. They're really struggling to deal with her physically. Lacroix is anyway. She's just stayed on Lacroix all the way through just to make the running behind from her, but just making something of it, that last final ball.
Sarina Wiegman's got a difficult decision here because look at her bench, but her front three in particular haven't played that badly. Russo has been a problem for the French defence. Hemp has been lively, and Mead has scored and had probably the next best chance after that.
Perhaps she'll be looking at maybe the likes of Chloe Kelly or Jess Parker, who's played in more central areas, just somebody to create from those central areas perhaps.
Or maybe the wild card of Aggie Beaver-Jones.
Yeah, she's proved she can score goals.
And of course, Fran Kirby, who scored in the previous two meetings with France.
Don't take her for granted. Goal scorer extraordinaire.
Carter under pressure. As France know that they can hurt England in these sort of areas. They have been sloppy at times. There's an example. Darley couldn't hold on to it. Here's Walsh. And then pressure on Stanway. Didn't have that sort of time. Does get the free kick in the end. Williamson. Stanley. Williamson to Bright. Bronze. Drives inside, too much on that pass. Russia. Calmly done. Renard. She'll look for Diani. Carter is there. De Almeida aggressively approaches Hemp to make sure she can't turn Hemp. And De Almeida defends that well, I thought, at first glance, but it will be a free kick. She disagrees.
It's been a good little tussle between those two. When it comes to coming close together in those individual duels in terms of physically, it was a little push. I think maybe it was for that initial one.
De Almeida wasn't happy with the decision, threw the ball out of play, then ignored the referee, but not in the book. Lacroix away. Good at talking to, though. Looks like it will be Fran Kirby. For now, England. Stanway! We were urging her to shoot a moment or two ago. That one quite on target.
Yeah, just not quite been enough from those areas. Good to see Fran Kirby. You look down the list of substitutes and she's the one, isn't she, in terms of creating something that particularly we should come on probably in a central area a little bit further up.
Interesting thing though is whether she'll replace Toon or Stanway. As Toon has, the player looks to unlock England at times. There's Chloe Kelly also about to come on. Russo get that under control. Frustrating for England this period of the game now. But it felt like a game that wouldn't be much between these two sides in the end. There still isn't. France with that narrow advantage. Carter, this could be awkward for Bright. She just got there. Shawi read it well, but now there's space behind her. Bronze. Pressure hunting down Bronze. Here's Bright. Mead. Walsh. Walsh on to Stanway. Time for Stanway to find Russo. And here's Hemp, but Diani emerges with it. Her opposite number. For so many years, France have been a bogey team for England. Just haven't played them for 3 years, but a reminder again. Sticky opposition they can be. Toletti. She was fouled by Stanway. Might be Stanway's last action, although France take the free kick quickly, nicely out to Diani. Henry. De Almeida. Back to Henry. Henry couldn't find Dali, but then Dali, even though she couldn't get there, immediate pressure on Walsh, and all Hemp can do is play it down the line to Russo, and Lacroix tight to Russo, has to be careful there. Double change coming here though for England, and two big players for them in recent years are coming on. It's Beth Mead who comes off, as does Stanway, and a great reception for those going off and those coming on.
Substitution for England.
Frank Kirby already on the field. But this is the goal that gave England the lead.
Yeah, it's about Beth Mead getting herself back to full fitness and flying for England, and that's a good start for her, getting the goal. You know, she's so valuable in an England shirt.
And Kelly is on. Wait for the reception for Kelly. And we all know why. Right forward, De Almeida cuts it out. Because of Chloe Kelly's goal late on against Germany in that Euros final. That's why England are the defending champions. And Fran Kirby, her experience on the field, ending her time with Chelsea, a long time with Chelsea.
Yeah, I think as well there's some tired legs. It's a long season for these players, so maybe the fresh legs will just add that little bit extra that England need. Not quite as we would normally think of them.
That'll be a free kick to France. We're reaching that stage now where France look to just try and manage the end of the game. Will they push for more, because there are goals out there still?
Absolutely, but the French, straight away as soon as they scored the second goal, made the substitution. Henry came on, and they're not really in any rush to try and get a third. They know that this would be a terrific result away from home, knowing that they take England back home next week.
It was cut out by Kirby, but to pick it up was Diani. De Almeida wanted that ball played over the top. She's high up the pitch now. And here comes the other member of the squad who plays in the WSL. Only two of this France squad do. Eve Perisset, the Chelsea fullback, is about to come on. I wonder if this will be for De Almeida. We'll see. Maybe Lacroix is on the booking. Perisset waits. De Almeida. now Diani looked offside, is offside. France ready to make the change. But not yet.
I can't believe how little times that France have decided to do that. And just a good ball in behind for the pace of the forwards to run onto.
But I don't think they will care if they hold on to this scoreline. As Arsenal will score in the first half through Beth Mead. The two PSG players turn things around for France. Taletti. Toto laying it off, but Dali can't collect. Williamson, first chance for Frank Kirby to drive forward and finds Hemp. And Hemp against De Almeida. Did she find room to get a cross in? France getting the bodies back. Walsh, little scoop pass over the top. And it reaches Hemp. It had no right to, really. And Hemp with a cross. It's a decent one as well. Drop to Kelly. It was an awkward one, but still a chance for England. Williamson. Now Bronze. Into Kirby. Once again. Walsh. Toon. Kelly. Looking for Rousseau. Renard. But it's Bronze. It's blocked and it hit Renard and the play will be stopped here. And the France captain took that shot for Bronze. And have to be checked here. There's a lot of power behind that effort.
Yeah, just as England were building up a head of steam, Frank Kirby just added a bit of energy. Chloe Kelly on that right-hand side.
Well, Renard's being checked here. Frustration for Serena Wiegmann in this game. There's some directions at Williamson and Carter. It's not looked comfortable tonight for England.
Yeah, they've missed a left footer, really. I think, you know, the obvious one being Greenwood. I know that Serena likes her to play that left-sided centre-back, so, you know, how does that work? Does Williamson play right centre-back? Does she play in midfield? But somehow they've got to work that out, how they get out and how they build through the pitch, you know, without a left footer or bringing a left footer into it.
Well, we've seen some good goals tonight, that's fair to say. England started the ball rolling.
Yeah, I'm really pleased for Beth Mead. Just showed what she's all about in front of goal. Again, it was about the set pieces and take absolutely nothing away from that. That is absolutely incredible. I can't quite believe it, neither can her teammates. And I think England will look from a defensive point of view that, you know, they didn't deal with that. They didn't get rid of the ball and can't give Katoto that much space and time to finish.
Some excellent finishes tonight. And the good news is the fact that Renard is up on her feet. I mean, a player who's had quite the career. I can't believe she's only 33. Has to be said, 8 times she's won the Champions League. Wendy Renard, into so many tournaments with her country as well.
Substitution for France women coming off.
Well, Perisset's been waiting a while. De Almeida comes off, and that wonderful goal.
22.
The equaliser for France. They saw a right smile from her there.
Yeah, a few boos, but also you score a goal like that and the stadium you score it in that's got 40-odd thousand people in it is silent. That must be very strange.
We have Perisset, WSL winner with Chelsea. To the right-hand side. Williamson to Carter. There's still time here for England. Imagine probably at least 10 more minutes to play with added time. Renard back on the pitch, but here's Kirby. Picking up that space he does so often. Toon. And now Kelly. Toon again. Kelly. Bronze, promising. Couldn't pick the right pass, and then France almost got a mix-up there. And Lacroix, with the intervention, may have hurt herself in the process.
Yeah, clever ball from Kelly. Which is quite unselfish, really, there, Lucy Bronze, trying to put it on a plate for Russo.
Now England pushed to the end. Scored a few late goals under Serena Wiegmann. Here's Kirby. Kelly. Thought it might dip, not quite enough.
She's such a good striker of the ball, Chloe Kelly. Whether it's crosses from wide areas.
England have options in those wide areas. One of the strongest areas for England. But they are still behind. Romania moves it forward. Walsh, this is the way of things. Expect England to see a lot more of the ball in these closing stages as France just stay solid.
Yeah, they're not going to take any risks now, France.
You know those forward players are thinking, let's just keep on going because we can score goals out here, but that's not how managers think.
No, definitely not. The message from the side will just be about being steady and compact and choosing the moments to put the ball at risk further forward.
Terese there. Couldn't find Katoto. Here's Bronze. Forward towards Russo. Bright's up there as well. We know when England are really pushing, late on, Millie Bright becomes a makeshift centre forward, and she's done pretty well in that role in the past.
Yeah, Russo just trying to get something on it, just to divert it right. That's one of the things that I like about Serena Wiegmann. She's so un-FA, if that makes sense. So she doesn't mind to try and get a result by just doing something a little bit different to cause a bit of panic in her opponent's penalty area.
Maybe it's France's turn to cause some panic. Katoto, though, they have been wasteful at times in those areas, France. And Walsh out to Hemp. Hemp couldn't control it. Maybe a little tired now, Lauren Hemp. She's seen a lot of the ball tonight. Say to Katoto. Cross went Kirby to try and block that. Did pretty well. Carter. Henry getting there before Kirby. Bronze stretching. Here's Darley. Darley clipping it back. Diani won't quite reach that. You can see they committed a lot of players forward there, France. They are going to make a double change very shortly as well. We're going to see France debut very shortly. A teenager, Una Badere. Interesting late change this from France. It's to be said, holding up the number there of a player who's already gone off. So they'll have to just correct things there.
5 minutes of additional time. That's 5 minutes.
Or you could also call that 5 minutes to be added on.
One thing
I
at a
noticed
time.
your silence there.
Yeah, one thing at a time, I think. She was doing the 5 minutes first.
I've just tested. So 5 minutes more to play at the very least. Katoto coming off.
Substitution for France women.
She'll take her time doing so.
To be replaced by number 12, Luana
Rivadera is coming on.
Also coming on.
She's only 19 years of age for her debut.
To be replaced by number 10, Leah.
And a far more experienced player, Leah Logarek. Another player to come on. Spent a season at Brighton in the WSL. Number 10 there. So some fresh legs further forward. England running out of time. Hampton just got that pass away. Kelly. It's been a frantic game at times. Neither sides look particularly settled all night.
Yeah, I think from an England point of view that there isn't that rhythm. I think teams have worked out how to play against them, and then there's certain question marks over, you know, perhaps formation or players in certain positions that I'm sure everyone's trying to get right.
Henry. There's Williamson. Sharp. But Diani got back. And it's nicely done from Diani. No time for the teenager there. Carter stepping in. Toon helping it out to Kelly. And Toon off the ball again. Bronze. Kirby. Still has it, Kirby. But England lose it. With Erard to just bring it forward for France. Toletti. It's their time for England to find an equaliser. And there technically is. Can they create the chance to do so? Northern Ireland 2-0 down to Portugal now in their Euros qualifier. Carter to Bronze. Walsh. France look well set though at the moment. Here's Carter. Williamson. And the touch not quite there that time. And France are almost there. England not that far away. Losing under Serena Wiegmann for just the 5th time. And from Bronze. Toon. Can't work it on. France have a player down. There's no chance England will put that ball out of play, so it might be down to the referee to stop play. That's exactly what she does. Showy is the player down. Well, the one positive for England, not necessarily the beret, but we'll see a few more of those next week. But the fact that England have a chance to make amends on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I think it's two teams that are not at full capacity. They haven't performed at full capacity tonight.
But the goalkeeper momentarily caught out here as Kelly stretching in the end, and the chance goes. Romagna was out of position for a moment.
She's made a difference, Chloe Kelly. And she was ready for that run on, and that would have been an absolute disaster for France. They're giving it up an equaliser so cheaply.
To the fist there by Romagna. She knows they're almost there. Maybe another minute to play here. Who knows with these sort of situations? France had a player down, substitutions as well. Carter's header. Didn't have to get the ball. Have it now through Walsh. Rushing to get it forward. It has to go forward. Millie Bright is still forward. Williamson looking for Russo. Now Carter. Garrick looking to try and close down Hampton. Here's Bronze. This might be England's last attack. Well, part one goes to France. England with a rare defeat under Serena Wiegmann. in a match in which there wasn't much between these two sides. France had taken the lead, or England had taken the lead through Beth Mead in the first half. A fabulous goal from De Almeida equalised things for France, and Toto with the winner in the end. But these two nations will do it all again next week. How significant this result will be, we'll find out in a week's time. But for now, in their first meeting for 3 years at St James's Park, the first England women's match at St James's Park ends in the visitors' favour. Final score, England 1, France 2.
So a difficult night for England, losing 2-1 to the group leaders France. That's now their 5th defeat in 20 now for the Lionesses. Before that, they were unbeaten in 30 under Sarina Wiegman. It was an impressive display by France with some classy goals as well. Toto getting the decisive blow, but remember, Mary Earps had to go off early on and she's now on crutches, so hopefully we'll get more news on that. So a disappointing night for the Lionesses. Let's see what this means in regards to the qualifying group. Well, France are still on maximum points with 9 points. Sweden actually have moved up to second. That's after their 3-0 win over the Republic of Ireland. As for England, they obviously lost to France 2-1 this evening. They're level on points with Sweden, and Republic of Ireland still trying to find their first points on the board. Remember, the top two automatically qualify for the Euros, and then it is the bottom two that go through to the playoffs. Let's get some reaction, shall we, now from tonight's game. Beth Mead is with our reporter Tom Gale.
Beth, obviously not the result you would have wanted. What's your reaction?
Yeah, disappointed, frustrated. I actually thought we were the better team. We created more chances. The keeper made a really good save first half, but ultimately we got beat on 2 set pieces, and that's something that we need to look at and rectify for Tuesday.
I guess it's a sign when the world number 2 comes up against the world number 3, it's going to be fine margins, and as you mentioned, those set pieces in particular.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a really tough game. You know, there's a lot of quality on show, but like you said, small margins, and that won them the game today.
Certainly the opening half an hour of Mary's injury, there's a few misplaced passes. It took a while to find the rhythm in the game.
Yeah, obviously you don't want to lose your number 1 like that. But Hannah came on, made an amazing save, was amazing with her feet. But yeah, obviously we need to get our rhythm in the game early, and we set ourselves on to play and perform better over the 90 minutes then.
Part of your job is scoring goals. I don't think an ex-Sunderland player's perhaps had a roar like that here. How was that for you tonight?
Yeah, the reception's been amazing. The atmosphere's been great through the game. Just a shame it's not a goal that could have won us the game.
Obviously immediately now, but you go again in a few days' time. What do you think you need to do better out in France to turn this one around?
Yeah, you know, we've got to get straight into recovery. We've got to watch and analyse the game and not give away set pieces, not concede from set pieces. And yeah, we've got to rectify that and then change that again for Tuesday.
Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
So Beth Mead is clearly disappointed after the results tonight because it could prove costly. Obviously, they've got the safety net of the playoffs, but Enya Luko and Siobhan Chamberlain, let's just talk about the overview of the performance. What needed to be better from the Lionesses tonight?
Well, I actually disagree with Beth there. I do think France were the better team, certainly in the second half. I think France started purring in the second half, controlling the game. She is right, though. They have been beaten by 2 set pieces. I think the first one for De Almeida, great goal. Don't think anything can stop that. The second one, I think there's a lack of concentration. Toto, who was quiet pretty much throughout the game, that's when she comes alive in the box. So England need to look at that. They need to get their head on it straight away because part 2 is on Tuesdays. It's a quick turnaround. They have to sort that out, the set pieces.
But the thing is, Sarina Wiegman said this before. When we were out in Marbella, Sarina Wiegman said, we really need to be better at defending set pieces, and it's cost them against them.
It has done, and we spoke about it before the game about how good France are at set pieces, and we highlighted Wendy Renard about being the threat. This time it came from different players, didn't it? So it just shows you can't just focus on that one player. Maybe she was the distraction. Maybe the focus was too much on Renard, and the other players created the cause, the problems that conceded those goals for England. So it's got to be approached. You've got to review it. You've got to check what went wrong, what went right, and make sure it doesn't happen again next week.
Let's take a look at that winning goal, shall we? Toto with the decisive blow, Annie.
Yeah, I think if you see it comes in from Dali in the second phase. You just see here, look at the back post. France have got an overload. It's 3 against 2 at the back post, all ball watching. I think it's Georgia Stanway there, ball watching, and Jess Carter. They don't clear it well enough. And this is where you've got to stay alive in the second phase. Katoto's free, Georgia Stanway not close enough, and it's a brilliant finish from Katoto. A pirouette spin, and she just finishes it. We've seen her do that before, but you see here, they're not picking up their markers, England. On that second phase, you've got to latch on. You've got to pick up your player. Georgia Stanway there, she's just sort of ball watching, and you've got to give it to Katoto. That is a brilliant finish, pinpoint direction, but that is the concentration you need at this top level in set pieces.
I suppose it's also communication within that defensive area that's really important. Siobhan, though, England did have their chances late on, didn't they?
They did, and I agree with Annie. France really dominated, especially the first half of that second half. But when England went behind, they did start to create some more opportunities. They got a bit more further forward, higher up the pitch, and you can see here, when Lucy Bronze gets high up the pitch, it causes problems for France. Chloe Kelly was lively when she came on. You can see how she started to combine. But as it went down that right-hand side, Lucy Bronze delivered that ball across, and England just couldn't get a player on the end of it. But it was much more positive play. I don't know whether if she'd have tried to take a shot, had a bit more power from that, might have had a lucky deflection out of it. But this one as well, Chloe Kelly, we said she was lively when she came on, and that one just didn't dip in time. It's a great strike from her. We know how well she can strike a ball, and that one just inches over.
We saw in the last 10 minutes, last 10, 15 minutes, Millie Bright goes up front. That's a tactic that we've seen. I just question whether Serena Wiegman can do it earlier. England didn't really have much possession. They didn't control it in the second half. Why wait till the last 15 minutes to do this? Why not start with 2 up front? We saw how successful 2 up front was for England in the World Cup. Start with it. I don't know why Serena Wiegman hasn't quite gone back to that. Maybe she can do that on Tuesday and throw something different, because I think England looked a little bit predictable in the second half. Tried to throw Millie up there, brought Fran on, but it didn't quite click. Can you start that way and put more pressure on the France back line?
Do you think they missed Lauren James tonight? That creativity and unpredictability that she offers?
Predictable, the word that Eddie used there, that's what I'd say. Lauren James is unpredictable. And sometimes you can watch England, you know their patterns of play, you know the style they want to play, how they want to approach, how they want to attack from wide players joining in. Lauren James breaks that mould. She is unpredictable, and she is impossible to defend when she is playing on form, which she has been doing most of this season. So I do think they did miss her. They won't have her on Tuesday either, so they'll have to find a solution. But moving forward, she's such an exciting player for England.
And Annie, it started so well for England, didn't it? Beth Mead with a composed finish to get the opener.
Yeah, Beth in particular was very strong performance in the first half. I think England... I mean, this goal in a way was a little bit against play, because I don't think they found their rhythm. But when it did work on the left-hand side through Leah, it came off. And this is a great finish from Beth. Calm. I love the way she kind of gives it the eyes. They're expecting her to put it the other way. She gives it the eyes and sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. Yeah, it was a strong first half. I think England did well to get the goal ahead. But second half, they couldn't quite get that control and that pattern of play that I think we see regularly.
So let's have a look at the equaliser, shall we? This was some finish, wasn't it, from De Almeida. This is tough to do. She makes it look easy.
She does make it look easy. It's an outrageous finish, especially for a centre-back who was playing right back on the day. But to control the power and the pace on the ball, to lift it over the defenders, over the goalkeeper, some composure and some finish.
I think it's very subtle push there from Wendy Renard that stopped Lauren Hemp getting out to the ball. I question whether you can stop that, to be fair. It's a great finish, Shiv. I mean, goalkeeper, can Hampton do better there? I don't know.
I completely agree. She can't stop that.
Yeah, it's,
you see the dive that she's made. She's tried her best. She's got there. No one's stopping that goal.
Right, let's get more reaction, shall we? Because it's been a difficult night for England and the Lionesses, losing 2-1 to France. Last time England lost a tournament qualifier was actually to France 22 years ago. We'll be hearing from the England manager next. More reaction to come.
stage set.
Absolutely sensational.
We are just 2 weeks away from the start of Euro 2024 and we kick off our coverage with host Germany taking on Scotland in Munich on ITV1 and STV. That's on Friday the 14th of June and what a month of football that promises to be. Well, let's take a look at the rest of the scores this evening. Scotland's women have also been in action. They've beaten Israel by 4-1. And worth noting that that game was played behind closed doors. It was delayed by 30 minutes due to a protester chaining themselves to a goalpost. Wales drew 1-1 with Ukraine. Portugal beat Northern Ireland 2-0 and the Republic of Ireland lost 3-0 to Sweden. That is the latest score for Portugal against Northern Ireland because that is still going on at the moment. That is the latest scores at the moment. Let's hear from the England manager now, Serena Wiegman, speaking to her players in the huddle. Disappointing night for England, but let's hear what the England manager has to say. Here is Serena Wiegman speaking to our reporter, Tom Gale.
Serena, it'll be a disappointing result. What's your thoughts on your side's performance tonight?
Yeah, absolutely frustrating. I think we played pretty well. And I think, we can see two goals out of set plays, which we have to do really better. In these matches, you don't get that many chances. I think the first half we created multiple chances and we scored one, which was good, and then unfortunately they scored a goal. And I think the second half we were more on the ball. We didn't create that much more chances, but we were dangerous. Like the final pass needed to be better, just like we getting to a chance and then we didn't get there at the end. Well, and then we conceded a goal from the corner. At the end we wanted to force a goal, but that execution didn't go very well.
You say frustration. If we reference the set pieces, is that because you have instructed the players on what to do and they didn't quite fulfill what they were required when defending?
Yeah, well, we know that France is really good at that part. And of course we were prepared. And yes, they still got that time. I think in the first half was unlucky. I think Hempo was basically bombarded, I think. And in the second stage, she got just a little more space, and she finished it well too.
Talk us through that opening half an hour, because obviously it was the blow with Mary and a few unforced errors. It took a while for your side to really click into gear. Any thoughts on why that might have been?
Well, it was a strange start, of course. We started with that first ball, and then Mary got injured, and that took about 5 minutes, and then we got started, and then she went down again, of course, and then she had to be substituted. So that was. That was not the way we were expecting it. We had to get organised again. So, and then later on we got it, and then we started playing a lot better.
As for Mary, we've seen her out on the pitch in crutches afterwards. What can you tell her about her injury status at the moment?
Yeah, I can't say anything because I haven't spoken to anyone yet. Straight after the game I came here.
In terms of preparation, it's a very quick turnaround now. Do you need to tell the players much more? Is it just about recovery now because it's the same opposition on Tuesday evening?
Yeah, of course we're going to recover them, also review the game, and then we get ready for Tuesday. There's still lots to win. This is disappointing, tomorrow review, then that's done, and then we continue going to Tuesday and a new chance to play a good game and win a game.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
So Serena Wiegman clearly disappointed with the result and picking up straight away on defending set pieces. That's what cost them.
Yeah, that's what cost them. That's, I think, an obvious analysis point that they can get straight into. I think I want to pick up as well on the start. I think it was such a shaky, awkward start. Almost the first minute, Mary Earps goes down. You see the sort of back line a bit flustered, particularly Millie Bright playing out. And I don't think England really recovered from getting into their groove from that. It's not an excuse, but I think it did affect England going forward. And then France, second half, really did, control the game, I think.
It was Millie's first game back, wasn't it? Obviously, Hannah Hampton coming in after 5, 6, 7 minutes when Mary Earps had to go off. So there was disruption in there, and that can affect how you start a game. England did grow into the first half, obviously got the goal, but then second half just couldn't turn on that, couldn't turn the gas on and kind of impose themselves a little bit more on France and dominate in front of this huge crowd here at Newcastle.
Well, let's hear what the England captain Leah Williamson has to say after this defeat 2-1 to France. Here she is speaking to our reporter Tom Gale.
Leah, as with most Lionesses games, a lot of build-up and big excitement about this. How disappointed are you all in the dressing room?
Yeah, really disappointed because I think the game was there to be won. And yeah, it was a fantastic occasion. Obviously, they never let us down, the fans, so shame not to be able to at least give them a win as well.
From your perspective, where did you fall short this evening?
2 set pieces. Oh, yeah, second balls. Because I think we played well, not good enough because we didn't win the game. But I think like I say, the chances were there to win it. But the set pieces, yeah, 2 set pieces have killed us.
We spoke to your manager. She said frustration seems to be similar from yourself. What was not quite happening, or was it communication-wise for the set pieces?
No, I just think obviously there's an element of luck to those things, but for us that's first contact, second contact, so we just need to be better. We will be better Tuesday.
So Leah Williamson clearly talking about set pieces once again. It's such a tight turnaround though, isn't it? How quickly can they change that?
I actually think it's easier to change set pieces because they're sort of dead starts. You can look at people's positioning, you can stop the screen, you can analyse it, you can go, right, okay, I know what to do better. It feels like quite a controllable thing to control and change in a quick, short space of time. And it looks like the players already know that. So that's going to be interesting in the analysis room. Look at particularly the second goal. The first goal, I don't think you can stop. It's a great goal. Second goal is positioning. It's first and second contacts. It's not picking up your markers when it goes out in the second phase. All of those things I think are controllable. So hopefully England get that right on Tuesday.
Let's talk about Tuesday. What needs to be better from England, Siobhan?
Well, we go over it again, we say set pieces, but also they've got to start the game better. Hopefully they won't have an injury and have a goalkeeper going off after a couple of minutes, which obviously impacted the game. But they've got to start quickly, they've got to be on the front foot, be tidy in possession and start to dominate and dictate the play. Get Kira Walsh on the ball a bit more. We spoke about how important she is to England. She needs to be on the ball more if England are going to dominate and win the game on Tuesday night.
Guys, thank you ever so much for your company. It's been a wonderful evening. The first game that England have actually played here in Newcastle. Thank you so much. Right, stay with us because coming up next on ITV4 are qualifying highlights from the Isle of Man TT. Then at midnight on ITVX, we have live action from the US Masters as the World Series of Darts heads stateside. The Derby Festival continues tomorrow. The live racing gets underway from 1:30 over on ITV1 with the Epsom Derby due to go off at 4:30. The opening show is at the usual time of 9:30. And then, of course, join us for the Tuesday at 7:15 here on ITV4 for that crunch match, England taking on France. So Le Bleu silenced St James's Park, but the Lionesses won't have to wait long to try and avenge tonight's defeat. It's all eyes on St Etienne. Thanks ever so much for watching. Bye for now.
Second in the world, the third at St James's Park. And putting it back.